Good evening, Contest of Champions. Week 6 is over. We are heading into week 7. I swear the season length feels shorter and shorter every week.
Every week, it just feels like we get further and further into the season, doesn't it?
It's
I
as
hate this
if
guy.
it is
Somebody get
shortening.
me a new co-host.
We are here. Big wins, sad losses. Let's look at this leaderboard. Let me tell you.
Man,
Oh boy.
do you think it's insufferable that we're the ones who do this every week and we're winning?
So I was actually thinking about this.
I'm pretty sure nobody watches anymore, but
Listen,
I'm gonna get 3 text
I
messages from people who watch this week.
I am concerned, and this is for anybody that wants to hear it, that the people at the bottom of the rankings that aren't used to being there might become less and less active. Because normally
Mr.
it's
Pack it up.
us.
That is true.
Yeah,
Normally it's me. I'm very active. I gotta make
yeah.
a show every week. I gotta make content.
We're down there, and we're in it. We're trying to make trades, add players,
Yeah.
try to win every week. So I've got concerns that with us not being down there, not spoiling,
Yeah.
that nobody else is going to take up that role. I think ultimately they will prevail, but something to keep an eye on.
They're not participants in the garbage spoiler trades like we are. You know, we're at the point now. Maybe we'll talk about it when we get into some of these lineups. If you're in this half of the bracket,
Yeah,
guys, it's not working. Like,
gotta make some moves.
I understand a lot of your teams are pretty good and they look good on paper. Not working. Just start throwing players away for other players. I say that as somebody who's been offering garbage trades to a lot of people. Shout out David for not accepting my trade for Brock Purdy. I would have lost. Shout out my boy David, who would have gained a starter who scored like 16 points this week. That's neither here nor there. Let's look at the pickup.
It is one of those things that I think people get really stubborn. They're like, my team is going to win.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe
It's
you should
not.
make a trade.
Yeah.
Maybe you should make it happen. All right.
Unless you're Evan, your team is going to win. Just
Your team is going to win. Evan's going to win out. Believe it.
believe it. It's an even week. I got Daniel. You got Evan. Speak of the devil.
It's all right. My guy. Week first win. Love to see it.
Dan.
Neck
Feels
neck.
like your first win.
Neck and neck. I got a couple points. Couple point lead.
Yeah. Andrew's winning by 2. Andrew's winning by 2.
Love it. Love
a lot
it.
A lot of real good bets midway through the season. Other bet, looking at points for real quick. Me and Kyle, points for bet. Only 20, 30 points separating us after 6 weeks. Could be a lot bigger, We're in it. We're in it.
Could be. Keep it alive.
Keep it alive.
David, best record bet. Close. He's coming for me.
Oh my god, that sounded pain. That sounded like it hurt. That was mean. Neither one of us is positive, by the way. Dude, honestly, we should have put a meme qualifier that said the winner has to go positive.
Dude, I
We're bad at
who
this.
it is that keeps tanking me. I gotta stop picking him.
Oh, I didn't do my kicker review. I'll do it next week.
For Jeremy.
For Jeremy. Yeah. All right. Into the matchups. Matchup of the week right off the bat. It's
what a way to start.
too easy.
Listen, Craig's been a little hot. It's unfortunate. He gets cooled off here. George Kittle is so unhelpful sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes he's just the worst.
Yes. And sometimes he's not.
Can you tell me a little bit about your thoughts on Christian
Wow.
McCaffrey?
Oh, God. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about anything having to do with Christian McCaffrey.
On the rest of your team.
Wow. I don't want to talk about that either, to be honest. Listen, guys, how did we get here? Which devil did I make a deal with to get here? That's all I want to know.
Get to 5-1?
To get to 5-1 with this fucking garbage roster. I will say, this was pretty annoying at a certain point during Monday night's matchup. That I was losing. I was never gonna not start Joe Mixon, but it was I guess like these 3 points. I don't know. I was never considering Amari Cooper, but I was like, I did leave some points on the bench. They
What
did
is
lose some
Joe
points.
Mixon's stats for this year?
Not great. It's fucking. They're not
Oof.
bad, but they're not good.
It's
He
like
only has the
RB2
one
city.
touchdown, which is really the problem. If he had a touchdown in any of these other weeks, this would look way better. Like that would be 15, that would be 15, that would be 13, 14. Like just one of these weeks with one more touchdown, I'd be like, oh, he had a high of like 20, or like it's consistently getting 15 points a week, but it is not great for Joe Mixon.
I'm feeling good. I get you. I get you.
Yeah, I mean
Second
he'll be
round-
okay. He'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
He'll
Taking
be
on
okay.
Craig's team, Craig's got a weird team.
Craig's
Being
team
carried
scores so many weird points.
because he gets like weird Adam Thielen points. Adam Thielen has
Adam
been
Thielen, wide receiver
savior.
2? What do you mean? Weird Adam Thielen points. I don't know what wide receiver he is, but he's in the top 5.
He's up there. I mean, listen, Craig loses Justin Jefferson. Honestly, can't tell the difference. Adam Thielen slots right in. It's like you never.
It's funny.
lost him.
It's funny because they were teammates.
It's just like
Oh, week 7. I'm sorry.
who knows?
Where's season total? Why am I dumb? There it is.
Yep, top 5.
Number
it
5,
is.
yeah. Barely. But he's there.
He's there.
Craig asked me to call out. Craig is the most 500 team you've ever seen.
Mm.
Look at Craig's point differential.
Wow.
His 3-3 point differential. This guy is the standard.
He's a coin flip. Every matchup, 50-50. I like that.
Dude, let me tell you, for those who were not keeping up with my matchup, I was fuming at this Minnesota defense start. And I know Andrew's aware. I know Craig is aware. There are a couple other people who are aware. But for Craig to start one of the worst defenses week in and week out in football against an offense that is coming off of 100 points in a 2-week span on the road, and then their starting quarterback gets hurt and the backup throws a pick 6 on the first play, I was fuming.
Calculated.
And then one hero was there, and I needed 22 points from one Dak Prescott.
Is that the best game of the year? For Dak?
That is Dak's only 20-point game of the season.
Trust
And he was QB1 on the week. The only player who would have won me the matchup. Slotted him in. Sorry, Craig. I love you.
Easy. Good win.
Good
Greg,
win. We're excited.
Keep flipping coins.
Shout out
Got
Chubba Bubba. Shout out Chubba Bubba. What a pickup.
Hubba Chubba Bubba.
Tried to trade David Chubba Bubba. He didn't want him.
Well,
I would have lost. I would have had Brock Purdy and not Chubba Bubba. I would have lost. Great. Craig. Go blame David. Next matchup. I know these guys.
I'm gonna talk to you fellas about a gentleman called Raheem Mostert.
Say it right.
Raheem must start. Is easily, single-handedly carrying my team.
I mean, that's factually correct.
And it's funny because I couldn't give that guy away. Nobody wants him. Doesn't matter.
People made fun of you on the draft.
He scores, and of course, when Devon Chain, everybody was like, that guy's scary. I'll admit, I was a little spooked, but he's not around right now, so we're just gonna keep dropping bombs.
That's a good thing.
I know that looks. See, you say it looks scary, but it's like, does it?
No.
Is it?
No. I will say the statement you made. You said Raheem was just single-handedly carrying your team. Most people with a Miami Dolphins player would say that about their team. That is, unless you have Jalen Waddle on your team. That guy is fake.
He's single-handedly tanking your team. No, big Raheem Mostert performance. We love it.
Pretty much
He's
it.
keeping me in it.
30-point player. Jeremy just doesn't have a pop-off, so he doesn't get the boost that he needed. A good start, 104. Anybody on the bench? No. Nothing really Jeremy could have done.
Not particularly, just outstatted.
Just outstatted. Wow, it didn't start bench Saquon. Right decision, ultimately. Yeah, point 2, point 3. Actually, no. This was technically the right decision, but Why would you not start that guy? He's
Ooh.
coming off of 2 40-point performances and 2 100-point weeks on at home against the worst defense in the league. That's so crazy.
Who knew the Minnesota defense was a juggernaut this week? But
Craig.
yeah,
Craig knew.
good. Craig did know. Good win. Happy to have it. Love to see it.
Good win. Trevor
Jeremy,
Lawrence. Fake?
Trevor Lawrence. Fake. So fake.
I couldn't get people to give Trevor Lawrence away in Fever. I was trying to trade Justin Fields to Trevor Lawrence owners, and they wanted nothing to do with it. And this was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and now it looks okay, but yeah,
not gonna fly.
What's Jeremy's outlook here? All right, he gets that guy back.
Oh, good. Honestly, if you look at, Jeremy's running backs are a little suspect, so maybe Najee Harris is like he's really needed, but man,
yeah,
where's the bright light for Jeremy?
I don't. It's the bright light question specific because I look at Jeremy's team and I go, that's a pretty good, solid, top to bottom team. The problem, and it's not even really a problem, is like he's just not rolling the matchups. And he's got. Listen, it's just the other side. It's so funny how mine and Jeremy's seasons are just flipped from like what it feels like every year. Of like Jeremy's rolling his. Let's see, how many points is Jeremy averaging a week? Ooh, less than I thought. I thought this was gonna be a little bit higher. Never mind. I was gonna say Jeremy's rolling his 105 points out there, and he's just coin flipping the wrong way, and that's not true. No. He's just not scoring a lot of points.
Well, listen, we knew from draft night that this was not a normal Jeremy team, and it's performing like a not normal Jeremy team.
Yeah, that does fit. I mean, the receivers are, maybe it's Ayuk without Debo for like a week or two. I mean, he's got to play against the elite Minnesota defense, so I don't know. Which Trevor's schedule is not great. Man, I don't know. Jeremy might be one of those guys. Might need to start making some moves before the season gets away from him. Jeremy doesn't like to sling bad trades, but I don't see another way out. A stingy trader, but I don't know how many more weeks you can roll Najee Harris and Jerome Ford out there.
I don't know. Jeremy does. He
gets 22 from special teams and scores 103 points.
Jeremy's never had to do this very often, but he feels like somebody that would just like cut and just be like, you know what? I'll throw a starting lineup out there every week, but I'm not really trying.
Yeah. It's funny because he's the Laporta owner too, which is like, for him to be one of the most valuable players like on draft night, it's probably like Mostert, Laporta, they're both in this draft. There's a couple other guys. I mean, A-Chan obviously, but like, what round did he draft this guy in? Waivers. They didn't draft him, and he's like tight end 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And he's a start lock every week. That's crazy. His team does not look this bad. That's the problem. Well, I mean, Najee is fake. That's the real problem.
Jeremy needs to sell CeeDee Lamb or Keenan Allen for a running back, and I think he'd be fine. He has to make that sacrifice, otherwise I think he's just going to keep putting up 100 points every week.
That is true. I think, yeah. That's actually really good. Like, package up CD and Najee and, like, go try to get not Christian McCaffrey because I won't give him to you, but like somebody else.
Yeah, try
to get a top 5 running back for one of those guys, for those 2 guys combined, something like that. All right.
Bloop, bloop.
Speaking of tanking your team, oh, he actually had a pretty good week. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I just knew Waddle was coming up, so.
Bender. We're back here again.
Oh man,
we had so much hope for you last week. Jamar Chase did not do Jamar Chase things. And, Greg comes out, puts up a solid point total, gets the dub.
This was a really ugly fantasy week. Like, a lot of teams. I think I heard this stat. I have to remember it correctly. There were, like, 2 football teams that scored more than 24 points this week or something like that.
So this, I got a better stat. This is the lowest points scored in the NFL since like 2008.
Yeah, week 6 NFL scoreboard. Was like, if you looked across the board, it was one. I think the stat was 25, and that's where it's like 1, 2, and 3. So three out of like 28 teams scored more than 25 points. So there was not a lot of fantasy points to go around. So a lot of matchups were just very one-sided.
Very low scoring week for sure. But you know,
Greg is back with a vengeance, though. Cooper Cup, he is Cooper Cup.
Greg is hot.
Cooper Cup with him. How we feel about Ramondre? Didn't he like leave the game injured or something? Shakes off injury and then scored. Okay, came back.
Got a little bump on the head.
Needed this from Ramondre. Needed a week to make you believe. 16 touches, scores a touchdown.
Listen, Greg's team is gonna be a playoff team. I think that's fair to say.
I mean, that line is being pretty clearly drawn currently in the standings, right?
He's got to be somebody. Somebody's gonna have to beat maybe first round, and then Greg's got a chance to knock you out. Bender is unfortunately, and we'll see it later, but he is sitting at 2-4. He's going into a week without Jamar Chase.
It's gonna be ugly. Poop predictions.
It's gonna get ugly.
Jonathan Taylor.
Bender, make something happen, bud. Make something happen.
Scaling up. I mean, he's scaling up,
right? Taylor's looking.
I mean, he's looking not good, and I don't know when he's gonna start looking good. Probably here.
I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's it, but we'll see.
Dude, I don't know that he's it. But if you're only getting this is not a real week. Like, hey, you haven't played football in a year and a half. Give you some touches. I mean, same story here. It feels like this really feels like a week where hopefully we don't, because he's playing against Cleveland, who hasn't given up any yards. But this feels like the Jonathan Taylor 18 carry week, and Zach Moss just gets put on the shelf. Hope not. Hope Zach Moss gets all the touches.
Yeah,
I can't tell I'm playing better. But this guy's fake. Sag. Probably tight end 2 because he's got this many points in 1 week. This guy was so fake. Sorry. Bye.
Stay strong, Bender. Stay strong.
I believe in you, Bender. Speaking of staying strong, trust the process. Here comes the freight train that is the Baltimore special teams.
30 points from Baltimore special teams. David unfortunately gets stuck holding the Justin Fields bag.
Yeah, that guy got hurt. Unfortunately,
gets stuck with David Montgomery, Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Oh man, David.
Listen, if your team's gonna bust, you want them to all bust in 1 week.
Huh. Bust. So that's tough. That's tough. David, hopefully, better weeks ahead for you. Better weeks ahead.
There's not a lot to say on this one.
The undefeated streak starts now. Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, Evan, just a lot of points from a lot of players. David, a lot less points from a lot of players. Kyle Pitts, shout out. That guy's good at football.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it.
That guy's good at football. Should start him.
The next matchup. I'm so upset. The Kyle Pitts is like, oh, now I want to play. Kyle, staying strong. Kyron Williams. What's up with that guy? You know?
What's up with what guy? Sorry.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know if he died or what the deal is.
They're treating him like he's never going to play again.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams signed 11 running backs today, as if this man was never going to play football. And that's terrifying. As somebody who is a Kyron Williams owner in a different league, they signed Darnell Anderson, aka Darrell Henderson, from the practice squad. They brought another guy in for a workout. They signed somebody else. Who else did they sign? James Robinson or something like that. Who signed James Robinson? Somebody signed James Robinson. The Packers signed James Robinson. So yeah, the Rams signed 3 running backs today, and I am spooked.
Yeah. Now, if you do some roster shuffling for Juice, I'm not doing the math.
There were a lot more points available. I don't think it's a win.
Yeah, I don't think it's a win either. But there's a possibility he gets way closer. I mean, maybe it might be a win. He's got some high scoring guy. It'd be close. Nathan, I'm sure Nathan might have already done the math on that. But I mean, listen, if Kyron Williams is down, it's one thing that normally would halt Kyle's progress. He's got depth, got the ability to plug in some different guys. Now, maybe Dameon Pierce is super fake, but at least he's got somebody to play.
That is true.
At least he's got somebody to play. I know you're doing the math, but
It's 23 more points,
23 more
which
points.
would
That is
not have won
not
him the
even
week.
close.
Yeah.
Nathan would need about 40.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well,
Maybe 29 more points. I forgot the KJ Osborne,
mm,
Cortland Sutton one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, up game.
That was
We'll see.
a game. That was a game that reminded you of vintage Derrick Henry because he had the breakaway run where he did not score a touchdown. Get the fridge off that man's back. Um, Not a lot of breakaway runs. It feels like in the NFL this year, or I should say, not a lot of breakaway touchdowns. It feels like I watch a professional NFL running back get caught from behind every week.
There's been a lot of that, but my rebuttal to that is you're not watching enough Miami games.
That is, you know
Nobody.
what? That is true. I am not watching enough Ibrahim Moises. It's just not.
But you are right in thinking because there have been a lot of
Here's the
high
problem. I
profile
am watching a
guys.
lot of Jet games, and Brees Hall's been caught from behind like 4 times. So
Guys got to work on his cardio.
Tony Pollard also got caught from behind. Oh my God, my heart went through my chest when Tony Pollard got caught at like the 8-yard line. If he scored, I would have been winning like 10 minutes before I eventually did take the lead. But like I thought that was it. I thought it was over. That Dak was not going to score a touchdown. And that my chance had passed me by. Shout out Kyle. Shout out New York Jets defense. Best defense in the league. Not really for fantasy, but they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, I actually am pretty surprised, kinda, that Kyle rolled them out against the Eagles and was
Oh,
like,
wild decision. I'm assuming he just didn't have other options and he wanted to keep them through the bye for the Giants.
yeah, I guess.
Maybe he just wasn't afraid. I don't know. Kyle with the homer pick, and it works.
Nathan, make more trades. Okay, bye.
Shout out Dan. Give me my +1, Dan. I needed that. I needed it.
Dan Mole finally gets another dub.
Shout out.
Honestly,
Dan was almost going to be the guy that I flamed in this presentation.
what does this say about the league? That at 2-4, Dan's in 7th.
Yeah.
Like the league is currently very top heavy.
Very top heavy. Very up for guys. Dan also like second most points in the league.
Oh yeah, well I mean yeah, Dan's got the points on everybody that is in that realm. He's got about 40 points on David, the next person. But if Dan starts tying with a lot of the 3-3ers, he's gonna.
Oh, every game he wins, he will pass everyone on the leaderboard. So it's gonna be really important that one, we keep this man out of the playoffs because. Oh, actually, never mind. Just let him in. Just let him in. Let him in. But yeah, it is very important that we keep him down because he will start tie breaking people out very quickly.
Yes. Now, and this is good for Dan because you look at the total point, 99. Didn't even break 100.
Didn't break 100. Gets a win in the week where he doesn't score. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was huge. Speaking of being carried by Miami Dolphins players, they scored 50 of his 100 points. Nice. Tyreek Hill is a literal cheat code.
Yeah, he's so fast.
You could make an argument that Tyreek Hill is like the best pound for pound player in the NFL. Like, just the biggest difference maker next, based on second best receiver in the NFL. And that's crazy to think of.
I think, and without getting too deep in the weeds, I feel like the way that the Dolphins set up plays actually allows Tyreek to get that way, like open to run that much. So I mean, it helps. Everything is contributing.
The way that the Dolphins run plays reminds me of how like Golden State, the basketball team, runs their offense. There's so much off-ball movement that just like nobody wants to run 10 miles with Steph Curry up and down the court for the entire game. You know what I mean? So just eventually, Tyreek Hill's going to catch you on a tired play and he's going to dust you. And that's just, it seems like it happens like every single week. Eventually, you're going to get a little lazy on that drag post and he's gone. And they just run mesh on every play. It's so funny.
Poor Travis gets stuck with Decoy Samuel.
Decoy, I mean, he got hurt. You didn't start Garrett Wilson? Oh my! You started DeAndre Hopkins over Garrett Wilson? You're trolling. And Garrett Wilson, I will say, for as disappointing as this season is in Aaron Rodgers,
you're fine.
Garrett Wilson has been a totally serviceable receiver.
Totally serviceable.
You're just a little sad that you drafted him like the second or third round most of the time, but second round.
Yeah.
But like from what you thought after this, you were like, oh no, it's over. I can expect this every week. And like you got some upside in some of these weeks. Oh, Brian Robinson, shut up.
Puka, shut up. Puka
Puka
Nakua.
Nacua. Back to
To a
fake
pumpkin.
mode. Yeah, back to a pumpkin. Don't worry, he's got Chase Claypool coming off the bench.
Why
Tr-
is that man even on the
Travis
bench?
does not have any depth. I'm realizing. Travis, go make some
Travis.
trades. Trade one of these running backs to Jeremy. Travis, Jeremy, go talk.
Ben
Go do some
Goodwin.
Brian Robinson for Brandon Ayuk stuff.
Travis, stay strong out there, buddy. Stay strong out there.
Oh yeah, my point that I want to call out, by the way, is that Dan burned 10 fab on the Philly defense, and Craig used 5 fab on the Philly defense. And so Craig tried to start the 16 less points Miami defense against me, but could not because Dan sniped them. So that was why I almost hated Dan in this rundown. Shut up, Miles Sanders. Next matchup. Yeah. I have not picked. Oh, no. I was gonna say I haven't picked any of these matchups. That was the last matchup of last week.
I was gonna say that's kind of the point.
That was kind of the point.
I have already picked.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen. I gotta go make some acquisitions. Maybe 2, maybe 7. I don't know yet. We'll see how this breaks out. It is a bye week, boys. It is a
That's right. So
bye week.
as we look at the week 7 matchups, we have a bit of a bye apocalypse. I think there's 6 teams on a bye, so a lot of folks are going to be scrounging for players.
Bender,
This is where
Chase
the moves really come into play.
Dallas Deanna bye. I would say, as far as apocalypses go, there's a pretty fair bye apocalypse. Like he's down Chase and Dallas. I'm down Mixon, Hubbard, Prescott. And then I also might be down these 2 guys, which is the bigger problem. If I'm down these running backs, like I'm going to pick me because, like, it's me. If these guys don't play, I'm probably going to change to Bender. I'm going to be honest.
Wow.
Listen, there's money on the line. This might have to be the first owned team pivot of the season.
I was going to say that would be the first time that we have not picked ourselves. Oh my goodness. At the moment, I believe I have selected you, Anthony, to win.
Wow, I love that for me.
I really want Christian McCaffrey to play.
Yeah. I do have the Elijah Mitchell hiccup. Here's the thing. I have Elijah Mitchell, so I'm not burning any fab on Jordan Mason, but I think Elijah Mitchell is so fake, and he is going to submarine my team this week if Christian McCaffrey doesn't play.
I actually feel like I do think that Christian McCaffrey and Jahmyr Gibbs have a very reasonable chance to play.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs, it's already like coming out expected to play, trending toward playing. I'm expecting Jahmyr Gibbs to play, which, who cares? Maybe he'll get his first double-digit points of the season.
Listen, this is what you've been waiting for.
This is what I've been waiting for. This is the second opportunity he has without David Montgomery on the field. This is what we wait for. Like, show me this green.
So if we look at Bender.
Yeah, if we look at Bender, his matchups are no bueno.
His running back matchups are tragic. John Taylor's against Cleveland. Cleveland is ferocious. Alexander Madison gets the 49ers. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Jalen Hurts could pop off. Jalen Waddle could pop off.
That is we are afraid of the root and toot in Miami Philly shootout. Like that. Yeah. Listen, awesome. I dodged. We didn't talk about Devonta Smith fake in Craig's matchup. Wow, how did I not mention that? I'm pulling it back up really quick because I got to talk about it. Fake news. This guy, I've been talking shit all season, and guess what? I played against him, and he dropped like 5 passes. If he caught one, Craig would have won. Trash. He had so many drops. He had like 3 drops. They signed Julio Jones. He dropped so many passes. You know how many passes you have to drop for Julio Jones to get signed to your roster? A lot. Speaking of which, let's go see. Let's see who wastes fab on Julio Jones this week. Somebody will.
Signed?
Julio Jones is a Philadelphia Eagle. You know not?
Why?
I don't know.
They need what? That's so bizarre. It's so random.
And they can't score touchdowns in the red zone unless it's a brotherly shove. What do you want? Like they can only score touchdowns on like AJ Brown deep balls and Jalen Hurts runs. Like that's it.
I wouldn't be crazy if they threw to Dallas Goedert.
That'd be so crazy. Not this week. Not too many. Oh, that was the other. I played against Jordan Addison and started Jordan Addison, and he had like a crisp 14. And I was like, nice. Like that's exactly what you want when you're playing against somebody and starting them. It's like that 12-ish range. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick me. It's primarily because of this. I'm terrified of this. I'm really terrified of this because I called the shot on Devonta Smith being fake last week, and I've been calling Jalen Waddle fake. Get off my screen. I hate it. He is less fake than Devonta Smith because he didn't play this game, right? This was a sit. Like he was hurt.
Who are we talking about?
Jalen Waddle did like this Denver game. He didn't play in that football game, so that's not a real goose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like he's really not that fake. He's just not what you wanted at this value.
Yeah.
Same situation as Garrett Wilson. Okay.
Right. Similar situation. Very similar.
I hope it's me because of the matchups. I really hope Christian McCaffrey and Dre Gibbs play. Who knows? So I'm starting a quarterback. I might have 4 quarterbacks on my roster next week. I'm not sure yet. Wow, your matchup is like just as ugly. Oh my God, Craig has a full roster at 78 points. What? Oh, Craig is so apocalypsed.
Yeah, Craig.
Okay,
Craig's got a lot.
Get this guy in your lineup.
Got a lot of people. No, hold on. I don't know who you're even talking about, but don't tell him to do anything.
Start Michael Pittman over fake ass Devonta Smith.
Listen.
You have 2 guys not in and more points than Craig. I'm gonna pick Andrew, guys.
I'm picking me. I think that's a fair pick.
I'm gonna pick
Craig?
you. You're gonna pick you. Wow, the Curtis Samuel start. I've been calling for for weeks. I've been texting Andrew every week, going, "Man, when's somebody gonna start Curtis Samuel?" This is it.
Crazy that Craig just had Curtis Samuel just on his team already.
Yeah,
just ready to go. Slotted him in. He's ready to rock.
I mean, you just can't. With the amount of injuries Craig has had to endure this week, a bye week is just not it. You know, it's unfortunate, Craig. But yeah, I mean, you're arguably his 2 best players.
So we'll see. I'm picking me.
3 best players, 4 best players. I mean, honestly, Aaron Jones plays. If Aaron Jones plays, that is a big plus for you, for Craig. I don't think it's going to change my position in the matchup, but like, I mean, this is not a real player. So if he gets to start this over Aaron Jones, man, it's funny because Jacoby Myers and like Curtis Samuel are playing so well.
Jacoby Myers has been surprisingly quite good.
Here's my take on this, right?
Take it up.
I think that Jacoby Myers and Curtis Samuel are great roster pieces. I think in a matchup where you are this far down, you can't start both of them. Because their upside is this. Like, neither one of these guys is breaking 20. Maybe Curtis Samuel finds the end zone twice on like some gadget bullshit. But like Michael Pittman could have 9 for 100, 9 and a touchdown, and 25 points. You know what I mean? Like that, it feels like Michael Pittman's the upside play.
That'll be an interesting decision that Craig will have to think about.
Yeah. What's going on with you? What is this? That's a tight end that you don't have. That's a kicker that you don't have. Okay, so you're not going to get that many points out of those guys. So your projection is going to be looking around 100, 101.
What are you talking about? I'm going to trade Evan for Kyle Pitts back.
Oh, okay. So his projection is going to be his kicker. So 96 points will be his projection.
No, listen. We'll pick some guys up, chuck them in there, bye weeks. That'll be fine. I ain't worried about it. All you need the core. You need the core players.
Spooky for Craig. Spooky for you. Spooky for Craig.
Dude, don't go past Pacheco, okay? All right, Pacheco's been.
He's been a great addition. Great addition. Shout out Saquon. Finally has a good game after coming back. Not a great game, but a good game. You take those.
I was gonna say we saying 11 points is a good game.
That's 12 points
for a first rounder.
That's 12 points without a touchdown after being out for 3 weeks due to injury. You take those.
All right. I accept. I accept your terms. Next matchup.
Wow.
Ooh,
oh God.
David v. Nathan.
Wow. This feels like an elimination game. Somebody falls to 2-5 here. Looking at these, let's go to the standings really quick, right? It's like you're one of these 2 guys. Not a ton of points for here. You're not
terrible.
It's not. It isn't obviously, but it just feels like one of these guys is gonna fall to 2-4, or 2-5. And that 5th win or loss is a lot to overcome. You like really have to win. You have to start winning out, like going on real runs. And it just feels like I think the play. I'll keep a watch tag on it. Player who loses this matchup, do they compete for a playoff spot? I just think they're
So,
going to be too far out.
so I will say, I mean, Dave Montgomery is not going to play.
Yeah, which is exciting.
So when Dave Montgomery doesn't play, David
It's
is
time.
starting Gus Edwards and Kareem Hunt. And
I mean, Kareem Hunt is fine.
but that's not,
Kareem Hunt's was
I
pretty
don't
good
know,
last week.
it's
I
acceptable.
think
It's
Kareem
acceptable.
Hunt is going to. This feels like a rookie like angle, like bring him in, get him up to speed. Bye week, now it's the switch. It's not Jerome Ford's backfield anymore. Now it's Kareem Hunt's backfield. This goes from 12, now it's 15, now it's 17. I feel like this is scaling in a positive direction. And
Mhm.
look at how juicy this second half schedule is. Like
So
if David could generate some momentum or trade
I'm
somebody,
calling
Kareem
it.
Hunt.
I'm calling it right now. Christian Watson is going to have 100 plus yards and 2 tutters.
2 tutters.
2 tutters, and that is why I am picking David. Christian Watson is going to
I
go berserk.
This is what I would be
Hopefully.
afraid of. If you have to be afraid of the stack, the Austin Eckler revenge game after having a bad week. Let's see who else happens here. He gets this guys. KJ Osborne is fake. Okay, let's stop acting like he's real. Get this man out of your lineups. Get Drake London in there, which is actually what you should do, like unironically. Um, the Muth is Luth. Is he back?
The Muth is back
The Muth
officially.
is back. Okay, so he's got the Muth. He's got Drake London. He's sitting at 103 ish, 102, 103. I'm gonna say this: if you are David, because this goes along with my 2 and 5 take, go trade Brees Hall to somebody. Go look at
Wow.
Kyle. Go look at me. Go look at Andrew, and go trade or any of the four. Go look at Greg. Go trade Brees Hall for a good running back this week. Just
He
like a
can play
one
this
for
week.
one ish swap that you can
Yeah.
start in a lineup this week and win a week. And I'm not even like trolling. I mean, obviously I want it to be me. Like I'll take him. But like looking at where's like Greg's team, like go trade for Ramondre Stevenson against like the Bills or like Josh Jacobs and like get a little something back. You get some extra juice because Brees is a better player, but David, doesn't listen to these and doesn't make trades, so he won't. Um, you know, go orchestrate a trade that makes your roster better this week because it's coming down to those for the 2 and 4s and the 1 and 5s, guys. If your roster isn't good this week, it's over. And by this week, I just mean every week that is this week, next week, the week after that. Like, if your team isn't good enough to win in that week, make a deal where it's better that week and deal with the week after that the next week. But you have to win this week in order for the next week to count or to matter, I should say.
It's getting close, boys.
Oh wait, I
Getting
have to pick
close.
somebody.
Do it. Pick him.
Give me the Buffalo stack.
Uh,
Give me the Buffalo
you're a
stack.
madman. You're a madman. All right.
Give me the Buffalo stack. Devontae Adams against Chicago, by the way. That's probably what really does wonders. Derek Carr, by the way, not playing probably. So Devontae Adams also
Oh, wow.
not Derek Carr. Derek Carr doesn't play for the Raiders anymore. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, Jimmy, huh?
Jimmy
Wow,
Garoppolo
okay.
probably not playing.
Jimmy Rapopoulos. All right.
Speaking of
Oof.
somebody that needs to go shop a player to try to win a week, Nico Collins on a
Jeremy.
buy. That kind of buy. Like you're starting Marquise Brown.
Which is not a bad start.
No, but
It's actually funny. I didn't even realize Jeremy had Marquise Brown.
yeah, here's Hollywood.
I mean, Jeremy, trade some of these guys, man. Trade.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, trade CeeDee Lamb or Keenan Allen.
Jeremy has too much depth for the first
He's got
time in
too
a
much
long
wide
time.
receiver depth.
You have
got
too
way too
much
much wide
depth
receiver
with
depth.
no starting roster value. And normally that helps because one of your guys gets hurt and you're like, oh, let me just slot this guy in. And as soon as you trade somebody, one of your guys will get hurt and then you won't have a guy because that's how fantasy works. But, I mean, you're not helping yourself not starting.
Yeah, Jeremy's got 5 startable wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, so Najee goes in for Deonto. Cool. Jerome Ford is still in there. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
like,
it.
yeah, you can line up. How many points did Kaimi for sport? 8.
So I will say
This is like Jeremy might be in and out the wire for a quarterback this week.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen? Kyle needs to spend big money on a running back. All of his depth is actually on a bye, so he
Yeah,
actually
Kyle
doesn't
is
have a
getting buyed this
replacement.
week. Yeah, that is funny.
But the rest of Kyle's team, I think, is still good enough to just beat Jeremy's team.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Where are the outs for Jeremy? This is a classic, like, New England's going to lose by 30, but they shut down Stephon Diggs in their loss. Like, that's an angle I could see happening where he just scores like
Possible.
He has like 6.8 points, but Buffalo has 30.
So
This is
Terry,
another potential matchup.
Terry McLaurin, big week.
Historically, a giant
Calling
killer,
it.
if I feel like.
Calling it.
Yeah.
Big guy against the Giants. Yeah, I took Kyle.
I'm taking
Jeremy,
Kyle too.
Go luck out there, buddy.
Yeah. Go make a trade. Trade CeeDee Lamb to somebody else because you need a starter this week.
Gotta make something happen. All right. It's a great matchup.
This is a real matchup. Dan does not fall in the category of needing weeks, being 2-4, because he has all the points. Excuse me. When is the Miami bye week? That's an interesting point where Dan has to win 2 of the next 3 weeks. Because if Dan falls to like 3-6 going into this week, assuming that he loses that week, I mean, it feels like a fair assumption at this point.
Possibly.
That is, what is that, week 10? Yeah, it's not great. You gotta start looking at that playoff picture, boys. How do you fit? Where do you get in? We're getting to that time. Halfway.
It is fast approaching. I know that it feels like we just drafted.
It feels like we keep making that meme, but
we're 7 weeks in, boys. Yeah. I mean, we're moving. And it is for that reason I'm taking Mr. Gregory.
Wow. All right, points up for grabs. I'm taking Dan here. Justin Herbert in Kansas City, pumpkin. Cooper Kupp against Pittsburgh, pumpkin. These matchups are not great. And I'm so afraid of this game. That game feels like I think, Andrew, I think you're getting the call. You're playing corner for Philadelphia this week, I think. So I don't see how Tua and that offense don't score 40 against that secondary this week.
I hope that the Eagles can figure it out. I would be very surprised if they just got obliterated. But honestly,
I don't think the Eagles are going to get obliterated. I think their defense is going to get obliterated.
A lot of people saying the Eagles are a fake team. We'll see.
Well, you lose to the Jets one time, and all of a sudden you're a fake team. It took me 40 minutes to bring up the Jets. Just saying.
We will see, Daniel. Good luck
out
there.
Any options out here for the boys?
Do not let me down.
Is Dan honestly starting Rashee Rice over Calvin Ridley? No, he's not. Right?
Dude, some of Dan's, I don't know. I feel like he's been burned by Calvin Ridley one too many times.
I mean,
he keeps flip flopping.
Keeps flip flopping him. Yeah.
I
mean, I get it.
He's having a hard time.
Chris Olave also. Wait, that's so funny. Hold on. It's 4 and 5, and then it's 4 and 5. Yeah, that goes to my Dan no mesh point. They only score in opposite weeks. Chris Olave and Calvin Ridley haven't had a lot of points the same week. Now they're playing against each other. Oh my God, it's the moment. Dude, honestly, you have to start both of them just so you can watch that game and be hyped. Like, you have Alvin Kamara too, bro. You watch that game every single snap. You're so excited. You're like, oh, my player can get the ball. Nothing feels better than when you're watching a game and you have a player on both offenses. And you're like, oh, yes, I hope my player gets the ball on every play.
Good luck out there, boys.
And he's not going to start Philly defense against Miami, obviously, so he's going to get a defense. I just think it's going to come down to Tyreek and Tua, and that's why I'm taking Dan. Evan, boy genius. Travis, everybody's favorite Travis.
Listen, I already, all of my chips are in on Evan's win streak starting now. I'm logged in.
It's funny how much you and Travis hate each other when it comes to the rundown. Based off of nothing, Andrew has just developed this heel mentality where he refuses to pick Travis's team. And now, am I going to pick Travis's team? No, but that doesn't have anything to do with my lack of love for him. It has to do with.
I love that kid. For whatever reason, I just hate his team.
I do not. He has too many guys with the same name on his team. I don't like it. He's got Decoy Rock. He's got Decoy Samuel.
Decoy, that player. It's funny too, because listen, Samuel could score you 25 points, or 0. You just who knows?
Dude,
Who
that
knows what's gonna
is.
happen?
I feel like that was the take and the outlook for so many people though looking at the San Francisco non-Christian McCaffrey skill players. It's like you knew every single week Debo, Ayuk, or Kittle, one of them is going to have a 20 piece, but you never know which one, and the other ones are going to have 5. Like that's and Chris McCaffrey's going to have 20 every week. It's great.
It does feel like a Russian roulette situation with the 49ers, and that's why I just
Dude,
I'm not in it.
this
Not on
is
them.
the week because here's what happens, right? They're 5-1. Jared Garf
On the road.
has expectations, and this is the pumpkin week, bro. I'm telling you.
I don't buy it.
I
don't
actually
buy it
think.
for a second.
I mean, that's a huge like matchup, by the way.
This is a big matchup.
That I feel like that game is going to be like pumpkin game. That's a
Awful, the
13-10
Yeah.
win for one of those teams.
Which is
And-
exactly what Evan needs.
Which is, I mean, you say that, but if Justin
Sounds
Tucker
good.
has 4 points, you don't like it. Like,
I mean, listen, who knows?
Who knows?
I'm taking Evan.
I think I'm. He's the Amon Ra. I forgot about that. Honestly, that's the biggest reason I'm going to take Evan. Is he has the same Brown Jared Goff cover. Shout out
Listen,
to
boys.
Patty Mahomes. Who are you starting instead of DeAndre Hopkins?
Oof.
God,
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool. It's like it's Kenny Gainwell. Dude, the wire is gonna be the amount. I hate the fucking weather thing, bro. The amount of money that I hope everybody is prepared to burn double-digit fab on trash players. I hope everybody is ready for this. Like, look
Waiver
at
wire
these.
is gonna be crazy.
The waiver wire is gonna be insane. Every single person in this league like needs a flex this week, and like, dude, if you're not spending double-digit fab on Elijah Moore and Wan'Dale Robinson, you're not gonna get them. I don't know if I'm gonna be the one who gets them, but like, if you're not spending at least 10 to, and now that I said it out loud, 15 fab, like you're not gonna get one of these guys. There are so many people in this league who need a wide receiver this week, who need a running back this week. Also, I clicked flex, right? Yeah, I did. There is, other than this guy who is not real. Where is the next running?
Zach Evans believer.
That's the only running back on the first page. And if you need a running back, go make a trade.
Owned? Where's Jordan Mason?
I think Jeremy owns him or something. Somebody owns Jordan Mason.
There,
Yeah, for sure.
of course, Jeremy.
No, he's not owned. Wait,
No.
it's just not projected any points.
Oh,
Is he
he's projected
hurt?
nothing. No,
He just hasn't
They
updated
just-
yet.
they just believe in Elijah.
Yeah, which I don't know is right or wrong, but like, this is gross.
Good luck.
Somebody
Good luck out
starting
there, boys.
Braxton Berrios this week.
All right,
okay.
fellas.
Okay, that's a
Week
long
7,
one.
Coming at you. Good luck.
May the points be with you.
Stay successful, boys.
Peace.
Bye.